Y'all back? Can y'all hear me? Y'all back? Can y'all hear me? Press 1 if y'all can hear me. Double tap the screen, shut a live out. I don't know, man. The audio is just gone, man. The audio is terrible. I don't know what happened, man.
I told my niggas to mark my word, I guarantee that I'm next. I got the arms of a bodybuilder from the way that I flex. Might just hit the strip just to go blow me a check. They know what the fuck I'm on. They say that they got some of the best gas, they call it Southern Joy. Chain on chain and ice on ice like Adam Sandler, I'm water boy. I know I'm all in the head. Bad bitch laying in my bed. Wait till I give her a spray. I'm a master with the head. Don't let these social fool you, these niggas broke. I know that they ain't bought it. Ain't got no car but talking shit. Okay, then little walkie talkie. I told that bitch to come home. I ain't got time for no bitch that's healing. Puff the blunt, she called me daddy. And I'm screaming, I know D. I'ma make sure that she come. I'ma fuck her good with my tongue. I know the night is still young. So baby, let's get it in. I know just how she like it tonight. She spicy, she added a friend. They ain't identical, but they fuck alike. So in the bed, I call them twin. I call them twin. Bed, I call them twin. Bitch, and shoot a shoot. 1 + 1 = 2. What you tryna do? Go back for back, check a swoop. Either way it go, I'm on. Either way it go, I'm gone. Brody them just got like 100 on me, they tryna get them gone. What you call it, that wet? What's the name? And he put it in his song. Brody them got the purest powder, it's pink, you know this shit is strong. No diddy. I'm the type of nigga that turn my bitch up in each city. Brody cut out, we celebrating, we hit the gritty. I'm feeling like a baby, I'm tryna get that milk up out them titties. It's no question who young and the latest. If you want your bitch, then when she talking, hear her. If I want the bitch, I'm going Pittsburgh. Still her. I keep some on the side, I don't have trust in just the main bitch. Suck me up while I'm driving like damn, I die by this lane switch. She a different type of freak, so we ain't never got a tussle. Throw it back like Miss London, and sum me up like be hustle. Yeah.
Double tap the screen, shut a live out, man. We did have some technical difficulties, but we back. Y'all said turn my mic up a little bit. All right, bet. Best damn show on YouTube. Appreciate that for your continued support, man. Everybody for pulling back up on me. OG Pal, Yosemite, Big Niche, Marvin, Steve, man. I see y'all back in here rocking with me. I know all the War Lala somewhere poking around, man. I appreciate everybody for pulling back up. Yeah, you like the black cowboy hat to remind you of your pops. Yeah, my pops got a black one too. My pops got a black one too. I like the straw hat I had over there, man, but I had to get a better one. You know what I'm saying? We got the white plug hat coming. I mean, the white cowboy plug hat coming too. The white cowboy plug hat is on the way, man. We finna, make it a thing, man. We gonna make it a thing over here. I still got Politician Plug is on the campaign trail, man. I think he might be coming to Texas. Politician Plug is still on the campaign trail, man. He out there fighting a good fight. He might be stopping through Texas here soon, man. But let's get into it right here, man. Y'all double tap the screen, shut a live out. We are 25 subs away from the next sub goal. We finna get straight into it. I believe this is Abbott talking.
Governor Greg Abbott ramping up pressure on state Democrats who fled amid the redistricting standoff.
Oh, no, this is not the right one, chat. Hold on, let me get y'all know they had took me down. Let me get the right one. That's not the right one. It's he was talking with somebody. He was speaking with some. Here we go, right here.
Of their own states today.
Yeah, let's hear from Governor Greg Abbott, man. Let's see what's on his mind. You know he's upset with the Texas Dems right now. We finna get straight into it.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it.
Man, why the hell? Alright, chat, y'all hold on. I gotta make this real little right quick. I gotta make that real little so I can switch my damn account. I don't need y'all in my damn business.
Texas State House Democrats once again stayed out of their own state today, delaying
so we don't have no ads.
Unusual mid-decade.
That's so we don't have no ads. I did that for y'all.
We're now in week 2 of this standoff over the new congressional maps for U.S. House seats that could give Republicans at least 5 additional seats in next year's midterm elections, thus staving off any potential midterm losses for Trump and the GOP. Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott today said that law enforcement officers are scouring the state of Texas to try and arrest any state house Democrats who are avoiding their business in Austin. But today, the leader of the State House Democratic Caucus said his party will keep denying a quorum to be called unless Governor Abbott prioritizes flood relief legislation over redistricting.
If Governor Abbott says we will take care of the people of the state of Texas first, if he makes that commitment today, we'll be back.
Yeah, he the leader of the House Democrats right here, and I'm not gonna lie. Gene Wu, I ain't bullshitting right now. He looking great. He looking at Abbott right now like, do something. I'm not gonna lie, man. The Texas House Democratic leader right now is looking at Abbott like, look, man, you want to help them? You want us to do something? You do something, man. You got executive power. You help those flood victims, and then we'll talk about it, man. It's political. It's political, man. Like I said, it's going back and forth. But right now, Wu say he not backing down, man. He say he not backing down.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott joins us now. So, Governor, 4 items related to flood relief are on the agenda. When you call the next special session, would you consider removing redistricting from the agenda in order to pass this very, very starkly needed relief for Texans?
So a couple of things. One is the first 4 items on the agenda right now deal with flood relief. Second is during the regular session, there are about 200 pieces of legislation that get passed every single month. I'm asking for only 18 items.
OG Yosemite, appreciate that $10 super sticker. Y'all get OG Yosemite some likes on that $10 super sticker. Thank you for your continued support, OG. Everybody double tap the screen, shut a live out. We go live every single night over here talking entertainment, politics, and current events, man. Double tap the screen, shut a live out. But y'all see that he asked Abbott about it. Abbott said most of the time it's about 200 things that get passed. I'm only asking for 18. I'm not asking for a lot. So let's finish the clip, man. Appreciate that, OG Yosemite, man. Appreciate that continued support.
To be passed during this 30-day special session. They know full well that they have every capability of addressing all these pieces of legislation. And what these Democrats have done, they have turned their back on the people of the state of Texas. For one, it is gutless for Democrats to cut and run. That's anti-Texan. Ever since the time of the Alamo, Texans have stood and fought their ground. Here, Democrats are fleeing like a bunch of chickens. Second, they can address both the redistricting map as well as all these other issues that are so important to their fellow Texans. Know this, and that is average Texans who are watching this show, they have to show up to work. If they don't show up to work, they could get fired. Mm-hmm. These Democrats think they are above that. These Democrats think, well, they can take the day off, they can take the month off, they can jet set across the country, ignoring their duty. By the Constitution, they are required to meet and consider and act on every bill that becomes before them. They're failing to fulfill their constitutional duty.
Yeah, they are, just to explain for our viewers who are not Texans, as the minority party with a very small minority, they argue that their only way to stop this redistricting effort is to deny Republicans in the State House a quorum. So that's why they're doing what they're doing, just to provide their explanation. The Texas Tribune reports that in June, you told Texas Republican delegation in Congress that you were reluctant to add redistricting to the legislative agenda in Austin. The Tribune says that President Trump then called you to discuss redistricting, and you agreed to put it on the special session.
So they saying that Trump pressured them. They saying that the Tribune saying that Abbott wasn't really trying to do that redistricting because they just did it in 2021. I didn't know Abbott was trying to shoot it down. Then Trump gave him a call like, hey, look, man, we owe those 5 seats down there in Texas. You know, Abbott, those 5 seats that look mighty good. You know, you redistrict down there, Abbott. They said Abbott put that shit on through, man.
Agenda. Would you have gone forward with redistricting if President Trump had not personally gotten involved in it?
Press 1 if y'all think he finna skate away from this question. Press 2 if y'all think he gonna keep it real as Texas gets. Press 1 if y'all think Abbott is finna skate around this question. Press 2 if you think he gonna keep it as real as he can for Texas, man. I'm waiting till y'all get some answers, man. I'm letting them come through. Press 1 if you think he finna skate. 2 if you think he gonna keep it real.
And ask you to do this.
To be clear, Jake, this is something that I've been interested in for a long time. First of all, I've been involved in redistricting litigation for more than 20 years now. Second, one thing that spurred all of this is a federal court decision that came out last year. By the way, a case that was filed by Democrats. The federal court decision that came out last year said that Texas is no longer required to have coalition districts. And as a result, we had drawn maps with coalition districts in it. Now we wanted to remove them.
Damn, Chad. They do not want us to stream, big dog. I don't know, Chad.
Delaying the unusual mid-decade day.
I don't know, Chad. I don't know why they doing that to us, man. Let me reset this right here, man. We was at 4 minutes. I don't know why they're tripping on this. I don't know why they're tripping on this chat. Shit's really crazy.
Texas State House Democrats once again stayed out of their own state today.
Now we wanted to remove those coalition districts and draw them in ways that, in fact...
Did y'all see how they, like, I don't know, bro. I really don't know, chat, man. Just to let y'all know, man, I am not planning on doing any kind of self-harm. You know what I'm saying? I'm not planning on doing any self-harm. I'm very fine. I have 2 beautiful kids. I love them to death. And I want to see them grow in age, get married. So I'm not going to harm myself, chat. Just letting y'all know that.
To provide more seats for Hispanics. For example, 4 of the districts are predominantly Hispanic. It just coincides it's going to be Hispanic Republicans elected to those seats. One thing that's happened in the state of Texas is the Hispanic community, a lot of it, have decided they're no longer with the Democrats who believe in open border policies, who believe in going against our law enforcement, who believe that men should play in women's sports. And they instead align with the Republicans. What we want to do is to draw districts that give those Hispanics and African Americans in the state of Texas the ability to elect their candidate of choice.
Well, that's not really, I mean, you're doing this to give Trump and Republicans in the House of Representatives 5 additional seats, right? I mean, that's the motivation, is to stave off any midterm election losses.
Again, to be clear, Jake, the reason why we're doing this is because of that court decision. Texas is now authorized under law that changed, that was different than...
Nah, I'm gonna keep it real with you. For the months, this shit been going on for a minute with me. I remember I did a live about Sam Altman and OpenAI, and I came back to my laptop. They changed my StreamYard code to like basically shit, letting me know. You know what I'm saying? Like I had left the crib, came back, and my whole StreamYard code was changed to like some crazy shit, bro. And I put it in the Discord. I showed the Discord, like, but yeah, little shit be happening, man. Little shit be happening. Like earlier, I was trying to make the thumbnail. They wouldn't let me save the thumbnail. Like I was making a thumbnail, and I clicked save, and even when I clicked save, like it wouldn't save it the way I saved it. Like I got a brand new phone. I don't know what's going on, bro. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
Then in 2021, when we last did redistricting, under new law as well as new facts that surfaced in the aftermath of the Trump election, showing that many regions of the state that historically had voted Democrat that were highly Hispanic now chose to vote Republican and vote for Trump as well as other Republican candidates. Districts where the electorate voted heavily for Trump, they were trapped in a Democrat congressional district. They have every right to vote for a member of Congress who's a Republican. We will give them that ability.
The law is pretty clear that state legislators in Texas denying the majority party a quorum can be fined and can even be arrested. But now you and your administration are taking the unusual step of asking for Democratic leader Gene Wu, who we played a clip from a little while ago, to be actually removed from office. What gives you the right to override the will of his voters who elected him?
Well, I think the will of the people who elected him are not being met right now. The people who elected him, as well as the other Democrats who've run from their duty, they didn't elect them to run off to Illinois. They elected them to go to Austin, Texas, and cast votes as required by the Constitution. What I have the authority to do as governor is to require these members of the legislature to follow the Constitution, which is very clear on its face, where it says that these legislators must act on bills before them. They're refusing to perform their constitutional duty, and that's exactly why I filed that lawsuit in the Texas Supreme Court, and the Texas Supreme Court has required Gene Wu to respond to that, and the Texas Supreme Court is considering that right now. And what I'm seeking to do in that case is to have Gene Wu removed from office for failing to perform his constitutional requirement.
So your state had a congresswoman, Kay Granger, who tragically developed dementia, and then in the middle of her, I guess, second year in office, in her final term, she and her family just checked her into a dementia center in Texas, and nobody represented that congressional district for like 6 to 8 months or something. And I don't recall you saying anything then.
Well, I have the authority to apply the Texas Constitution to these members of the Texas House of Representatives. With regard to members of Congress, that's going to be up to the congressional delegation and to the federal laws of which the state would have no control over. What I do have control over, Jake, is what we're dealing with right now. And that is, I called a special session, I put items on the agenda, and by Texas law, those runaway Democrats are required to act on that agenda. They're failing to do their duty. So there's a violation of state law that allows me to seek the removal of those who've abdicated their responsibility. Let's play this out. If they do not get removed by this court, this process is going to continue. I'm going to call special session after special session after special session. They could remain in hiding for literally years, tying the hands of the state of Texas from performing essential government needs. That cannot be allowed, and that's exactly why I should prevail in my lawsuit to have this Democrat removed from office, because they are denying Texas the ability to conduct business.
I mean, not entirely, though, right? Because, I mean, there are filing deadlines for candidates in September and November, and then in March, of course, would be the primaries in Texas. So they really, I mean, I'm not advocating this, but they really only need to wait you out.
Abbott, you did that. That was a point you made, but you know they're not gonna do that. You made that to say a point. Y'all double tap the screen, shut a live out. We go live every single night over here talking entertainment, politics, and current events, man. We got a sub counter right there, man. Press 1 if you think Abbott's blowing smoke, or press 2 if you think he's really finna take Gene Wu's job. Do you think Abbott is blowing smoke, or do you think Gene Wu is out of a job? 1 if you think he's blowing smoke, 2 if Gene Wu is out of a job.
Will fall.
Yep. So, sorry, Jake, that's not the case. Because I can call a special session at any time to have these districts redrawn. And even if we get to and beyond the filing deadline, we are still going to redraw these maps. Before we've done this, what we can do again, and that is have 2 different elections. One for all the other candidates on the ballot, one for members of Congress. And that's exactly what we'll do this time. If they think all they have to do is wait it out until November, December, they're wrong. I'm going to do this for the next 2 years. And they're going to have to basically take up residency in Illinois. They might as well start voting in Illinois.
Well, let me ask you just this final question, sir, as a bigger picture item, which is, what's unusual about this is that you're attempting to do it in 2025 as opposed to waiting till the end of the decade, as normally is when the redistricting takes place. You've explained the Supreme Court decision that led you to do this. But what's going on, obviously, is not happening in Texas. It's not happening in a vacuum. We have Democrats in...
So Abbott said he'll do this for the next 2 years. That means, because I guess in January, I don't know if Abbott's up for re-election or if he can stay or not, but you know, in January 2027 is when the new governors come, especially for Florida and California. We know Newsom and DeSantis are both being turned. So they'll have new governors in California and Florida for sure.
California and New York and other states saying, well, if Governor Abbott does this in Texas, we're going to add 5 Democratic seats. Are you not worried at all about a redistricting, gerrymandering arms race going on? And theoretically, is it not just better for voters to be picking their politicians instead of politicians to be picking their voters through gerrymandering?
Well, to be clear, listen, all those big blue states, they've already gerrymandered. Look at the map of Illinois. Look at the map of California, New York, and Massachusetts, and so many other blue states. They gerrymandered a long time ago. They got nothing left with regard to what they can do. And know this, if California tries to gerrymander 5 more districts, listen, Texas has the ability to eliminate 10 Democrats in our state. We can play that game more than they can because they have fewer Republican districts in their states.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott, don't be a stranger. Thanks for popping by. Really appreciate it.
That's crazy, Chad. He said Texas will play that game.
Standoff over.
Texas will play that game. They got 10 seats, man. Y'all double tap the screen, shut a live out. We finna move over to the DC. DC mayor has spoken out after Trump sent down 800 troops. Trump sent 800 troops down to D.C. to restore law and order. Say he's going to make it beautiful. They're calling it the beautification of D.C. And she is holding a press conference, I guess, to say what's going on down there. We had a couple callers call in earlier from the D.C. area, and they saying that they ready for it to happen. They say something needs to happen there, man. Double tap the screen, shut a live out. We are 25 subs away from the next sub goal. Please hit the subscribe button. It's the little white box at the top. Let's get straight into it, man.
Announcement from the White House. So I'll have a short statement and then we'll be able to take a few questions. So let me start by saying this. Washington, D.C. is a beautiful city, magnificent city. We're home to 700,000 Washingtonians. We welcome millions of visitors every year from around our nation and around the world. We have the nation's premier park system, fantastic public schools, including a free and robust pre-K program starting at age 3. We have a tremendous public transportation system, and we have hardworking people here who are raising families, starting businesses, and hiring workers. So it's very important to me that for all who live here and visit here, just know how beautiful our city is and how proud we are of all that we've accomplished here. We're unique in other ways as well. Though we pay taxes, in fact, we pay more than most states per capita. We're not a state. We don't control the D.C. National Guard. We don't have senators or full autonomy. Limited home rule gives the federal government the ability to intrude on our autonomy in many ways. I've said before, and I'll repeat, that I believe that the president's view of D.C. is shaped by his COVID-era experience during his first term. And it is true.
So she's disagreeing with Trump mobilizing these. She's not with Trump doing what he's doing, sending those 800 troops down there. I see that now.
That those were more challenging times related to some issues. It is also true that we experienced a crime spike post-COVID, but we worked quickly to put laws in place and tactics that got violent offenders off our streets and gave our police officers more tools, which is why we have seen a huge decrease in crime because of those efforts. We have been able to reverse that 2023 crime spike. This year, crime isn't just down from 2023, it's also down from 2019, before the pandemic, and we're at a 30-year violent crime low. We're not satisfied. We haven't taken our foot off the gas, and we continue to look for ways to make our cities safer. We know, however, as most have heard from the president's press conference, that he has prerogatives in D.C. unlike anywhere else in the country, including his authority given by our home rule charter to require the mayor, to require me to...
Double tap the screen, shut the live out. Lala, thank you for that $5 super chat. Y'all give Lala some likes and flames in the comments on that $5 super chat. Double tap the screen, shut the live out, man. We go live every single night over here, man. Hold on.
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Yeah, thank you, Lala, for your continued support. Double tap the screen. We are 25 subs away from the next sub goal. Press 1 if you think Trump is overstepping his boundaries, sending the National Guard to D.C. Press 2 if Trump is doing what he needs to be done. 1 if you think he's overstepping his boundaries. 2 if you think he's just doing what needs to be done.
Supply services of the Metropolitan Police Department, and he also has control and the ability to deploy the National Guard. But let me be clear, as our home rule charter is also clear, and the president's executive order restates. Chief Pamela Smith is the chief of the Metropolitan Police Department, and its 3,100 members work under her direction. The Home Rule Charter requires the mayor to provide the services of MPD during special conditions of an emergency, and we will follow the law. Though there's a question about the subjectivity of that declaration. In fact, the chief has already provided a high-level liaison and point of contact with the federal government and made those initial contacts. The executive order is also clear that the president has delegated his authority to make requests of us to Attorney General Pam Bondi. I have reached out to Attorney General Bondi and hope to schedule a meeting soon. My message to residents is this. We know that access to our democracy is tenuous. That is why you have heard me and many Washingtonians before me advocate for full statehood for the District of Columbia. We are American citizens. Our families go to war. We pay taxes and we uphold the responsibilities of citizenship. And while this action today is unsettling and unprecedented, I can't say that given some of the rhetoric of the past, that we're totally surprised. I can say to DC residents that we will continue to operate our government in a way that makes you proud. We will balance our budgets.
So is the DC government making DC natives proud? If any DC natives are in here, let me know right now. Is the government making you proud? Press 1 if you think that DC is fine the way they are now. Press 2 if you think DC is ready for a change. Because I had 2 callers call in earlier, and they weren't happy with the way businesses was being treated out there. I didn't know it was that bad. I did not know it was that bad. Double tap the screen, shut the live out. We're 25 subs away from the next sub goal. We're 25 subs away from the next sub goal. We go live every single night over here talking politics, current events, and entertainment.
We will deploy our services. Our kids are going to start school on August 25th. And we will work with the federal government to do the things that they should do for our city. including making sure that we have the judges that we need, including making sure that all federal parks are supported, not just with law enforcement, but with other clean and safe activities, and including making sure that our economy is supported by rational federal actions as it relates to the federal workforce, federal workers, and federal property in the District of Columbia. So with that, I want to ask Chief Smith to talk about her interactions with the federal forces, federal police and law enforcement that have been engaged in the district over the last several days, and the strategy that she thinks would be important while we have additional federal police.
I see Clash Royale said a blue wave is coming. Press 1 if you think a blue wave is coming. Press 2 if you do not think a blue wave is coming. Let's see what the chat thinks about that. Double tap the screen, shut a live out. We 25 subs away from the next sub goal.
Officers. Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm Pamela Smith, the Chief of Police of the Metropolitan Police Department. And as the Mayor stated, we have a responsibility to support the executive order. And one of the roles that I have is to ensure that we work very collaboratively with our federal partners. I know that most of us know in this room, and those that are watching on television, that the efforts of the federal law enforcement officers began in our city on Thursday night. I met with the director of the U.S. Marshal, who has been at that point overseeing the operational component of how the federal resources will be allocated and deployed around our city. With that conversation, it was very, very important for me to ensure that not only do we work collaboratively with our federal partners, but we offer up areas across our city where we can work with them in areas where we know that we want to reduce crime. So that was the effort on yesterday. We spent roughly about an hour just kind of planning and talking through what that's going to look like. On the heels of the announcement from the president today.
Yeah, she said now they can take care of all the crime, like that. Maybe if shit was going on, well, I think it's crazy that the guy from Doge gets beat up, and now after the guy from Doge gets beat up, it's Trump sending the troops to D.C. It's like, yeah, D.C., we got to clean this shit up one way or another, but it took this. They here now. Y'all have to support them. It's a federal order, Double tap the screen, shut a live out, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. 800 troops are in D.C.
Regarding the executive order, and my directive from the mayor is that we will begin more intense planning efforts after I leave this press conference. I've also met with one of the other liaisons that have been assigned to work with the U.S. Marshal, along with myself, regarding the efforts around the city for how we will allocate resources. What I will say is this: our relationship with our federal partners is not new. We do this on a daily basis. We are very, very, very much in tune to having federal law enforcement officers working with us on our Capital Area Regional Task Force. Our federal partners work with us, especially on some of our warrant executions. They work very, very closely with us with our Violent Crime Suppression Division, and it is my intent and my police department's intent to continue those efforts. What you will see is an enhanced presence. The second thing that's really important to me, and I'm speaking directly to our community, is that we have a relationship with our community that is very important to us, our community members. And so having our Metropolitan Police Department working alongside of our federal partners who have come into the city to really help us assess and deal with the crime, some of the crime spikes that we have. We will work alongside them, but intentionally, we want to make sure that our community understands.
Yeah, she said this is nothing new. What the two callers did say earlier was that it really is nothing new. They've seen it happen, but they ready for it. Double tap the screen, shut a live out, man. Do y'all think that they're gonna be there over 1 month? Press 1 if you think that the guard will be in DC for at least 1 month. Press 2 if you do not think they will be there for at least 1 month.
That we are there. We're going to be boots boots on the ground. If you see something, again, say something. We value those relationships, our community members, and I want to say thank you for all the work that you've done with the Metropolitan Police Department up to this point. Those relationships are very, very important to us, and we want to continue to build upon that and continue to enhance that. I'll turn it back over to Mayor Bowser now.
Okay, I seen somebody say yes, somebody said 6 months. The guard is there because Trump said it's time to clean up D.C. and the beautification of D.C. They're saying D.C. is, I think it was 41 murders per 100,000, and I believe that was ranking higher than a lot of third world countries. I believe the closest one to it, as far as a capital of the world, of a country, was like 15. So we were almost 3 times the murder rate of some of these third world countries. So double tap the screen, shut a live out. We 25 subs away from the next sub goal. This is what I want to know from y'all. How long do you guys think that the National Guard will be in DC? How long do you guys think the National Guard will be in DC? Type your answer in the chat and screenshot it. Whoever gets it right, we'll send a Zybag to. Type your answer and screenshot it. You gotta have some proof that you was right.
Okay, we'll take a few questions, and I'm joined by members of my public safety team, including Deputy Mayor Apia and Chief John Donnelly. Yes, please identify yourself.
Mayor Bowser, Campbell Robinson, New York Times. Do you think this was inevitable, or do you think there are things that the city could have done as the council to prevent the same happening?
This is, I don't know. I can't answer that question, and I think that's a question that you're familiar with the rhetoric about the city and how long it goes back, and we also know that we're not experiencing a spike in crime, but a decrease in crime. Yep.
Mayor Tom Sherwood, Canadian Radio. You and the chief are talking about partnerships with federal partners who are coming in. The president is talking about a takeover of the city's police department. Where's the chief fit in?
Oh, they're finna take over the police department. I forgot Trump appointed somebody over the damn, I don't know if it was a task force or whatever, but he appointed a federal person. So yeah, their police force essentially is being taken over, right? If Trump appointed somebody to run this operation, to clean up the DC streets, to work hand in hand with law enforcement, that guy's gonna run in there and be running the show. Yes or no in the chat? Is that guy that Trump appointed finna come in there and run this lady we just seen speak before the mayor's show? Yes or no?
With Terry Cole, who's the new federal commissioner of the DC Police Department.
Federal Commissioner of the DC Police Department is what Trump named him. Federal Commissioner of the DC Police Department.
Nothing about our organizational chart has changed, and nothing in the executive order would indicate otherwise. So the chief of police reports through the deputy mayor to the mayor of the District of Columbia, and the 2 people I think that were identified in the presser report to Attorney General Bondi. The executive order makes clear that all requests for MPD services, the president delegates to Attorney General Bondi. I don't recall the names. Yes.
Where does he fit in that?
That's a question for the Attorney General, I think. Yep.
Mayor, to what extent are you planning to cooperate in this new framework, or is the city planning anything to prevent this from happening, including legal efforts?
Well, I think all legal, I think you probably saw the Attorney General for the district, Brian Schwab's statement about reviewing all legal matters, and I think those matters are under review. The plain language, however, of the Home Rule Charter indicates that there is a declared emergency.
This is what I'm saying. It really doesn't matter to me why they're cleaning up DC if it's that bad. I talked to some people that's boots on the ground saying that businesses, 24-hour gas stations or stores are being broken into. everything's being demolished inside of the store, just kids are doing it, 20, 30 kids running in these businesses. But I do find it funny that after Big Balls, the guy from Doge, he gets beat down in the street trying to stop a carjacking, and Jasmine Crockett's district gets exposed for how bad and filthy it looks. Same week, same couple days, maybe 24, 48 hours, we get Trump mobilizing DC. We get Trump sending the National Guard there. Same week.
There are
7-day period.
It allows the president. It authorizes the president to make those requests. The mayor shall comply with those requests. So, yeah.
Mario with DC News now. Are there any concerns that, with this rhetoric and the NPD, the National Guard, possible other law enforcement agencies on the ground, that there will be confusion about who's in charge, who these officers answer to, and how people should respond if approached by any of these organizations?
Well, we should note, and we have been advised, and we will continue to make this clear that this is needed in our...
Right, because like when stuff like that's going down, you're not going to get any industry coming there. Like people are trying to start businesses, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, insurance companies not going to want to insure you if we know that as soon as you open up your 24-hour corner store, the YN's going to run in there. And appreciate that, Cypher, for the $2 super chat. Let's get the likes up, man. Let's get 20 more likes for that super chat, man. Double tap the screen, shut a live out. Double tapping the screen is actually how you like the video. If you didn't know, the subscribe box is at the top of the screen, and I have a sub counter right there. Appreciate that. Thank you, Cypher, for your continued support. But yeah, how are you gonna ensure that? Nobody's gonna want to ensure that your business over there, every other business on the block, is at risk from being broken into, all your merchandise stolen, all your equipment destroyed. Like, nobody wants to pay that high ass insurance, you know what I'm saying? Nobody, man. Then on top of that, it's like nobody wants to work. That's killing industry there, man. Then I talked to the people earlier, they were telling me like DC is like 17 something an hour. You get a lot of benefits, but they're paying like $2,000, $2,100, you know what I'm saying, for a 2-bedroom apartment type stuff. And I was like, yeah, in the South, you come to Texas, you paying 2 bands in the right area, $2,200. You might have a big pool in the backyard. You might be, you know what I'm saying, 3-bedroom, 2-story, double garage, and a pool in the backyard. It's just crazy.
Our city.
But Texas minimum wage is $7.25.
That all law enforcement be identifiable by a uniform, a badge, a jacket, so that people know that they are law enforcement. And the chief, in her coordination with the kind of the command on the federal side, will make clear kind of how the protocols for response. And if there's any additional information we need to get out to the public, we will. But the main point is this: everybody should follow the law, the police and the community. And that's the case now. It was the case last week, and it was the case the week before that. So nothing has changed about that. Yep.
Lionel Donovan, WUSA. Would you be able to respond to the statement that came out from the DC Police Union? They come out.
Y'all always come in here and ask, is this a MAGA channel? No, I'm the voice of the politically homeless, man. I don't care if you far left, far right, liberal, conservative, Marxist, fascist, black, white, darker, brighter, alien, a superhero, a fish. I don't care if you ugly. I don't care if your mom lied to you and told you was cute when you was a baby. I don't give a damn, man. Call in. Come in here, man. Double tap the screen. Shut a live out, man. Welcome to one of the greatest damn shows in history and the greatest damn show on YouTube, man. Straight up.
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Call in.
Saying that they stand with the president and that they have also stepped behind the spiraling out of control. And they're also calling for the president to go even further and repeal some of the legislation that DC Council passed.
I'm afraid I haven't seen that statement yet, so I don't want to comment on it. We have work very closely with the DC Police Union. Some issues they've advanced, I've totally agreed with. Others I haven't. One thing that we are squarely supportive of is making sure that our department can recruit more officers and get to a number that I think we need. We've worked cooperatively with them on recruitment and retention activities, on some other changes to the law that were very objectionable to the union and our members, and we will continue to do that. Yeah.
Peace and blessings, Madam Mayor. So, in what way, if any, does this change your strategy in terms of your relationship with the president? You've been pretty cooperative, pretty diplomatic, but he's saying one thing about crime, you're stating facts, and he's still infringing on your role as mayor. So, as far as your relationship and your strategy.
You say you think this is overreaction. How much does this cost? I don't know. How much do y'all think it's costing him to send those 800 troops over there and put these commissioners and things of those sorts together? How much do y'all think it's costing them to send these 800 troops to D.C.?
What do you intend to do as far as, engaging with them?
Well, we engage with all officials that impact the district, and that includes the president. So I don't expect that would change from our part.
And I don't, if I may follow up.
Sure.
Are you going to go what some might consider?
Yeah, my lighter right here is out.
What you're trying to do?
That lighter out, and I had to find my other lighter.
My tenor will be appropriate for what I think is important for the district. And what's important for the district is that we can take care of our citizens. And if people are concerned about a president's ability to have the MPD police department be responsive to the Department of Justice, the time to address that is when we're talking about statehood for DC. If people are concerned about the president being able to move the National Guard into our city, the time to do that would have been when the Congress had a bill that it could have given control of the DC National Guard to DC. So there are things that when a city is not a state and not fully autonomous and doesn't have senators, that the federal government can do. Yeah.
So yeah, DC, she's the highest level in DC. I believe she's the mayor. Everything above her is federal. They're saying in the chat that the attack on the Doge employee, Big Boss, the one that really kind of got this in motion, was a setup. Press 1 in the chat if you think it was a setup. Press 2 in the chat if you do not think it was a setup, man. 1 in the chat if you think it was a setup. 2 if you do not think it was a setup.
Yeah.
Just to follow on his question, you at times in President Trump's first term were more confrontational with him, especially in 2020. You tried to be more cooperative this time. Any second thoughts about that approach? And are you planning any sort of defiance, symbolic or whatever, in light of this?
Well, I would refer you to the law. Humble charter, he referred to it. I would refer you to the executive order. And so everything that we have said maintains my authority given by the Home Rule Charter. Yep.
Josh Chapin, Channel 7. I just want to be clear also that this ramp up, this emergency we're talking about is a brief period. It's like a 30-day period, am I right?
The charter gives him the ability to do it for 30 days, yes.
So that means cooperating with the, whatever he wants to do.
Well, it means that we follow the law, and that the MPD follows the law as well as all of the federal officials who are here. It's also important and we will do this in our communications with them, understand what they're looking to see. So the fact that we have more law enforcement and presence in neighborhoods, that could not, that may be positive if people are, if it's a positive action. So that's what the executive order says. Yeah, Mark.
A couple quick questions. One, do you know, will the National Guard be armed?
I don't know.
And then, what if the Attorney General directs the Chief of Police to redirect sources to do something that you and the Chief disagree with? For instance, redirect resources from east of the river to the federal enclave or something like that. Will you comply with, you say you're going to follow the law, you say you want to be cooperative. What if you get a directive from the White House or the Attorney General that you just steadfastly don't agree with and think it's a long move and would jeopardize public safety in other neighborhoods? Will you comply?
I don't have any reason to think that at this point, Mark, so I don't want to speculate about that. The executive order, as is the Home Rule Charter, is pretty clear that the directives have to be, the requests have to be related to federal purposes.
The president threatened to use not just the National Guard, but the military to bring the United States military, federal troops into the District of Columbia if needed. Can you respond to that threat? I mean, we're in uncharted waters already. A lot of people are seeing this as the first step in an assault on home rule, which the president has threatened. He's been making these threats since last year, and now he's carrying through with them. There's no reason to believe he won't go further. What do you say to the president about his threats to bring the military, not just the National Guard, but the military into
We don't, I think I speak for all Americans, we don't believe it's legal to use the American military against American citizens on American soil. I'm not a lawyer, and but I think that's a fairly widely held fact. And so, but we've seen them move, I think, the active military into California. So it's a question. We've seen active military on the borders of D.C. some years ago, and we don't believe that our military should be used against American citizens. Yes.
Hey, Ambassador, can you talk a little bit about the communication that you did receive before this morning? Did you know what this announcement was going to be before today? And can you just talk about the communication writ large before today? And secondly,
how do y'all feel about the military being used against American citizens, man? Put for it or against it in the chat. If you're for it, put for it. If you're against it, put against it, man. How do you feel about the military being used against American citizens?
Generally, what do you say to D.C. residents who wanted to hear more from you, specifically in the last 5 days, being forthright, speaking to press and media? Can you just talk about...
D.C. residents know I'm forthright. That's not a question. D.C. residents know that, and this press corps should know I speak to you all the time. So you should know that as well. And your question was, when I did not know that the request of MPD would be made. I believed that they would announce that they were going to call up the National Guard. I had one brief phone call related to the National Guard issue.
Oh yeah, I did see a lot of states saying that you can't buy snacks with food stamps. I did see that, like 6 states just added that you can't buy snacks with food stamps anymore. I did see that.
Weekend.
Madam Mayor?
Yes. Can you identify yourself?
Brian Todd, Stephen.
Okay.
Can you tell us what the main challenges are going to be? Chief Smith, DC Police, working with federal officials, and are you concerned that any federal official overseeing the DC Police Department is not going to know the city as well as Chief Smith and your officers?
I'm gonna say this. I understand that it's a lot going on in the city. I mean, in the country, but I'm against it, man. But it's gonna set a bad precedent. It might just put out that one fire and put out that fire rather quickly, but it's gonna set a bad precedent. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna set a very bad precedent, man. If the SWAT can come, if the SWAT is pulling up like military, no disrespect to any of the soldiers, but when they pull out them damn SWAT, damn big vehicles and shit like that, man, that seemed like it should be enough, especially if they pull out, a few of them, but it might be a money thing. Maybe it's because the military has the budget to do this type of shit. I don't know. Y'all let me know y'all opinions, but I think it'll set a very bad precedent.
Smith oversees the MPD. And all of the requests and coordination for the federal request. I don't really have a doubt that is going to, among those officials who are law enforcement officials who have experience working together, I don't have a big concern about that communication and coordination happening. Who hasn't yet?
Hi, Emma Huber with the Washington Post. During the conference this morning, President Trump spoke about how he wanted to empower DC police to hit back harder. Are you aware of any changes in the works to MPD's use of force policy?
Good night, Amanda. Hope you sleep good.
And does that kind of rhetoric, how do you feel about that kind of rhetoric?
Our police officers are highly professional, well-trained officers that we support with training throughout their careers. We're proud of where our department has come from in terms of their level of professionalism. So they're trained in constitutional policing, and that is our expectation. Yes. Hold on, you asked the question.
Owen Hayes, NBC News, just to follow up on that a bit.
Yeah.
So will they still be fully subject to local regulations when it comes to use of force, body cameras, while under federal control, MPD officers?
MPD reports reports to the chief of police, and they are subject to DC and local laws as well as federal laws.
Even under this plan?
Yes. Yes.
Emiliana with News Nation. You said earlier that they did not tell you about this announcement before it happened today. Did the White House or the president bring up their concerns with crime before last week?
The president talks about crime all the time. Yes. Have you not heard the president from the campaign trail? In every conversation I have with him, we're always briefing the president on our progress. In fact, my first meeting with him after he was elected the second time, we went over the crime trends. We went over how we're seeing decreases. So the president is read in on our efforts. Who has that? Yep, over here.
Ashraf Khalil, the Associated Press. A lot of this seems to be perceptions of what constitutes an emergency. The White House and the administration says there's an obvious emergency. Your administration, with numbers, the council says there is not an emergency here. How do you solve that? Arbitration option? Where does it go from here? Because it feels like, do you agree that it comes down to what constitutes an emergency? What's that?
Well, what I would point you to is the Home Rule Charter that gives the president the ability to determine the conditions of an emergency. And we could contest that, but the authority is pretty broad. And so, like, if you wanted to say the most outrageous thing, one might say, well, I won't say that. It could be something very small. Like, I'm not saying that that's what he's doing, but it could be. And if he deems it and he puts the meat around it and the argument around what he thinks is an emergency. When we think of emergencies, it usually involves surges in crime, or crime that's not being responsive, or tools that we have that we can't use in the normal course. That's what, when we use an emergency, that's what it's for. Yeah.
Or not mine, ABC News National. Wanted to see if you could respond directly to some of what the president said this morning. Do you agree or have any thoughts on the pictures he said that there are, quote, bloodthirsty criminals, end quote, or roving mobs of wild youth, end quote? He also said that DC police can do whatever the hell they want, end quote. Are you okay with that? What does that mean? Do you have any response to him or the White House talking about his crime stats?
I mean, I think I've already addressed all of those questions. Anything else? Yep.
Scott Young with WTOP. You described, this morning was described as a federal takeover of MPD. It sounds like you're describing this as Chief Smith still in charge and everything will run through the department. What will this look like on a day-to-day
Somebody has delusional.
What has transpired here? What can people expect to see? Is this an you all work collaboratively for big events, and this is something comparable to that?
No, I don't, it's not like that. It's not like the special events task force where we work together. And I think I don't want to minimize what was said. And I don't want to minimize the intrusion on our autonomy, because it is very different than working a special event. So that is not what we're trying to do. But I think the chief, and I'll turn to her in a second to talk to you about what she thinks is going to be most helpful to MPD. I want to believe I answered the question a little bit earlier, but I think what's helpful to us is that we come together and we look at data, we look at intelligence when it comes to crime across our city, violent crimes as well as property crimes. And so there are other things that the federal government is also very useful for, useful in supporting us, and that is, in the city, is warrants, right? The execution of warrants, the U.S. Marshals holds those. This will be an opportunity for us to come together and collaborate on being able to go out and execute warrants. As we think about over the past, came in 2 years ago, 5 years prior, we looked at some of our data where we saw an increase in violent crime in certain areas across our city. We designated those areas as a homicide reduction partnership plan with some of our federal officers. What we'll do in that space is we'll enhance that presence. The other thing is that most of you know we have a nightlife task force. U Street, we have a lot of tourists, residents, individuals who come into our city on a Thursday night, Friday night, or Saturday night and enjoy the nightlife culture. We will also be able to utilize that enhanced presence in and around that area, and any other crime trends that we might see that will go forth. We have our drug-free zones, where we also align our federal partners in those spaces, as well as our juvenile curfew zones.
May I just follow up quickly, Chief? So again, this morning it's being described as a federal takeover. You all are describing it as an opportunity against this crime prevention strategy you have in place. To the community who's confused about the discrepancies, where does it fall?
Well, I just articulated to you where it falls. What I mean by that is that with respect to the two federal partners who will be working alongside me, the operations and the administrative liaison, we have a meeting scheduled for today right after this meeting, and we will be able to create an operational plan for our city that will continue to keep our city safe.
Chief Smith, I just have one question.
You just broke the rule. Maybe somebody else haven't asked the question already. Okay, is that it? Okay. All right.
I just have one question.
Yes, sir.
Data a lot of people talk about data is coming from saying that crime has been going down. However, this morning Trump did cite a report where Sarge was accused of messing with the crime numbers. So would you be able to respond to some of what Trump said directly this morning?
Well, I cannot respond to any internal investigations, and I think, as you know, we do not talk about personnel actions with regards to our personnel. Same.
Two-part question.
For me?
Yes.
Okay.
And this is in regards to you. What is your professional assessment of how MPD has handled so-called youth takeovers? And I guess the second part of my question might be more opposed to the mayor, but
Well, can I ask the first question, then you can ask the mayor the second question. I think when it comes to the juveniles, and I've said this, I'm very passionate about young people who are going to do great things in our city, and we have a lot of young people who are moving in that trajectory and in that space. The problem is we have a small subset of young people who do not, and I've said to parents, you need to know where your children are. We've talked about this over and over again. The mayor has enacted an executive order so that I, as the chief, can designate juvenile curfew zones around our city so that we can still give young people the opportunity to be able to be in those spaces based on what the laws and the regulations state, but we won't allow the disruptive behavior, and we've seen that time and time again. We've looked at intelligence, we've looked at data, sometimes we look at things that are on social media to help guide our decisions. We want young people to be safe in our city, we want them to be able to enjoy the activities of our city, but we're not going to tolerate that kind of criminal activity that we've seen in the past. The juvenile curfew zone that was enacted, we've seen a decrease in our juvenile participation in those locations.
now, and Madam Mayor,
Yes.
if I may, how effective would it be to federalize crimes that you commit? I keep hearing that from the U.S. Attorney from D.C., but how effective would that be as a crime
meeting with the U.S. Attorney for Janine Pirro last week, and she does have a lot of interest in juvenile crimes and how her office can be more engaged. What I committed to her then was having some conversations around the laws that she's concerned about with members of the council, and seeing if there's any possibility of an omnibus to change that. With regard to who prosecutes or what crimes she can prosecute, that's not a local law change. That would be a congressional change.
May I hear you correctly saying that you would embrace the change in the street laws?
I have a position on at least 2 or 3 of those I can refer you to. I would, because I'm going to get them mixed up in my head right now, but I will be happy to share that with you. Okay, I'll take a few more. Yep.
Along with those laws that he was talking about earlier today, we also put a focus on DC's bail system, the cashless bail system. Was that part of your discussion?
It's the first time I ever heard that come up in a situation with DC. DC has had a no cash, whatever you call it, cashless bail, I think since the mid-90s. So that's not anything new to our system. We do, and you know, that I was very, very focused in the last 2 years on having the council.
What's up, Colorado?
Laws that would allow judges to hold violent offenders, those accused of a violent offense, pre-trial. And I believe that provision has led to our very substantial decrease in shootings and homicides. Yep.
I wonder if you could specifically speak to some of the concerns that U.S. Attorney Pirro has raised about her perception of lenient sentencing for youth charged with violent crimes. Do you think that's an issue? And as she suggested, potentially charging in some instances prosecuting youth as adults, is that a potential solution, or do you agree with that?
Well, the U.S. Attorney has the ability to prosecute youth for some crimes as adults. And I think she's interested in expanding that and possibly lowering the age. What I committed to her to do is look at all of the what's allowable in the.
So the U.S. Attorney's looking to expand it and possibly lower the age on certain crimes. You know, only certain crimes you can be charged as an adult with, like very violent crimes and shit like that. But now that they're saying these kids breaking into these businesses and, like I said, making insurance and all that go up, she thinking about charging their ass, expanded it. No telling what that'll come with.
Now the types of crimes, working with the council, and working on some changes.
So do you agree with her, though, that needs to be expanded, or do you think that is an unhelpful solution?
Double tap the screen, shut a live out. We 25 subs away from the next sub goal, man. 25 subs away from the next sub goal. If this your first time in my live stream, press 1 and I'll give you a shout out. Colorado Miner, I see you came back, man. Welcome back, Colorado.
I don't want to say right now, because that could mean a lot of things. We want to really analyze what we think would keep us safer, the link to crime. I will say this, and this is, some of you are new to covering us and covering these issues, but I have been in my.
Would it start with the juvenile and delinquents? Yes, but this, like I said, it will stop it. It will stop a lot of it. Like, I mean, upwards of 40, 30, 40, 50% of it. But we got to think about the precedents that it's going to set. They're calling for 14-year-olds to be charged as an adult for breaking in this shit, you know what I'm saying, and just whatever the hell they doing. We don't know how far this will expand. It could expand into petty shit. It could be, you know, all inclusive. We don't know. Right now we know that murder and aggravated charges, most of the time they're charged as an adult. When it comes to violent crime, they're charged as an adult. When it's really violent. But now they want to expand it. So we don't know what this expansion can come with that could set a very bad precedence. 14-year-olds getting charged as an adult. You got to think, if you charged as an adult, you already going to get what's next. Yeah, you going to get juvenile life. You going to be in juvenile, off the rip, juvenile life, 18 to 21. They already got that. So what they gonna charge them for as an adult for? I'm asking if we're expanding the crimes. We're talking about charging a 14-year-old as an adult for something that's not a murder. I'm genuinely asking y'all. Like, I'm not trying to be a smart ass. I want somebody to answer me this. If we're already charging the chick killed the kids that are like 16, 17, whatever, 15, 16 as an adult for certain crimes. She just said it, for certain crimes, but they're trying to expand it, right? If these crimes wouldn't warrant a long time in jail, what's the purpose of charging them as an adult? So it don't come up, it sticks to their record. I mean, I guess, I don't know, they charged as an adult. Does it come off of their record when they turn 18 if they charged as an adult? I don't know. I'm asking the question. But even juvenile life is 18 to 21. So what's charging them as an adult? If they're gonna go to juvenile anyway, if they charged as a juvie or an adult, they finna get 18 to 21. I was growing, I don't know about DC. I know in Arkansas, they giving out 18 to 21. They call it juvenile life. JDC. Juvenile life, 18 to 21. So if these kids 14, I know some people that was 15, 16 called juvenile life. They was in there 18 to 21. So I'm just trying to answer. I'm just trying to get an answer. If somebody want to call in, I'll open the call lines right quick. I ain't had them open. I'm going to open the call lines. Hold on. I'm finna open the call lines in case somebody want to call in. Alright, the call line's open. If somebody want to call in and give me an explanation for that, the call lines are open. That's crazy. Look, she already stated she wants to lock these kids up and throw away the key. She hates kids, getting kids leniency. Marvin just dropped the number if somebody wants to call in. Damn.
From
Dorsey.
What's going on, Dorsey?
How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing all right, man. I'm trying to get I'm trying to get some explanation. Why are we talking about charging these kids as an adult if they already got a such thing as juvenile life? So what would be the difference is what I'm asking.
This is to make some examples out of a few people.
So are they still going to go to juvenile, right? Even if they're charged as an adult, they got to be in juvenile until they turn 18. Then they get transferred to the county, right? They're not finna send underage kids to the county, bro.
Oh, man, they finna send them to the county, bro.
That's what I'm asking. That's the answer I'm looking for. Do y'all think they finna send these kids to the damn county and to the prison, or is they still finna go to juvenile? That's what I'm saying. I don't think they can house these kids with, you know what I'm saying, people in the county. They can't do that.
Check this out, man. Society gets fed up. They change the laws. They change the rules, okay? You're talking about a person like Trump. Trump throw the rules out the window. You know what I'm saying? And because he has that political clout, people bow down to whatever he wants. Even the mayor of D.C. is bowing down. Even the police department is bowing down. Now, what I thought was kind of funny, he said, well, we had these kind of things going on in the past. Well, how come you didn't address them when they was in the past? Then it getting to the point where now Donald Trump come in and he finna clean up. All of a sudden, y'all act like y'all concerned. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, you know, Obama used to go out to D.C. and do his business, and he seemed to not have mind what was going on in D.C. They said that the statistics went down, right?
Correct.
Well, what was going on in the last 9 years?
They say it's down. It's at the lowest it's been in 30 years.
Yeah. The whole thing is, I think it's just a smoke screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Trump wanted to bring them troops in all along, and this is his excuse, like you said, little big balls. I think it was staged. Him, you know, making him seem like he was a hero. He's saving a woman's life and all that. Come on, man, that's just too much. You see what I'm saying? So I think that Trump wants to use his pretense to fortify Washington, D.C. Because now you got to go through military roadblocks, you know what I'm saying, curfew. And, you know, we had this argument this morning. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't a government employee, you living in D.C. Ain't no manufacturing jobs in D.C. You know, there's a couple Starbucks.
So it's still not making sense to me. Even if they charge as an adult, right? Let's say a kid they widen the thing and a kid get a charge that will probably get him 5 years as an adult, right? They get he 15, right? Wouldn't his record be cleared at 18 anyway?
Yeah, but see, that's why they finna charge them as adults.
So when you charge as
you
an
ain't gonna get
adult,
no slap on the hands, and no more slap on the hand. Then you talking about Janine Shapiro? What's the little drunk lady, the drunk judge?
oh no,
Ain't gonna have
allegedly.
Janine, you know, the one that used to be on Fox.
I don't know.
See, I want to say Shapiro, but that's not her name. It's something else, but it's close to it, right? Judge Janine, right? The one with the drinking problem.
Right.
So.
Allegedly.
So. Allegedly, I'm sorry. She gonna throw the book at him. Need to have the book thrown at him. Okay. As a parent, look, man, we work too hard. We work too hard trying to put a roof over their head and feed these kids, and then they want Nikes, and they want this, and they want that, right? And your child goes out there and do some stupid stuff because he's running around with some more knuckleheads, right?
Right.
Now, these kids know that there's cameras everywhere. So he didn't get away with nothing.
They say Janine Pirro is who you was trying to reference.
Right, Pirro, okay. So my whole thing is, man, there's cameras everywhere. Your child ain't finna get away with nothing. I could give you an option. I say throw the parents in jail. Throw the parents in jail for about a week. You see what I'm saying? Kids in juvie for about a couple of weeks. And then let the parents out and then hand them kids over to the parents. I bet you they won't be acting a fool no more.
Shit, they gonna be done lost their job and everything. Then what?
And parents going what? What they gonna do? Beat that what?
Shit, they gonna be homeless as hell because they ain't gonna have no job.
No, they, you know, most people is gonna be able to arrange something. You know, you could go to jail on the weekends. You know what I'm saying? They gonna make arrangements.
You're right.
You know, the parents have to do that weekend jail for a couple times.
That's gonna be embarrassing as hell, boy. Motherfucker gonna be
exactly.
bad.
And when they get home and they get little junior, because look, bro, you've been exposed to these kids just like me when you was growing up.
Hey man, them parents, a lot of them parents finna go right back to jail as soon as they get out. They go right back.
Yeah, because they're gonna beat the tar out them kids. We were good kids, but you know we did stupid stuff. Can you imagine somebody's parents who, you know, they got a federal job or got a real good job, and then their little son, Mikey, or whatever it is out there running the street doing stupid stuff? First of all, they got a curfew. So what your child doing out past the curfew?
They snuck
Okay,
out.
so-
They snuck out.
When they snuck out, well, your little ass get locked up. You're supposed to get locked up just for breaking curfew, right?
Hell, I don't know.
Okay. So breaking and entering and destroying a store, hey man, that's burglary. That's commercial burglary. Hey man, that's mandatory 7 years here in California. And I want it to happen because man, these kids, man, they don't want to go to work. They don't respect the elders. They don't want to respect what's going on with society. I don't care what race the kids is. These kids are now where they feel like they got the law on their side. Because the law protects these kids now. So whatever they do, you know, you got the little social worker saying, well, little Timmy didn't get the red bike he wanted for Christmas, so that kind of affected him mentally. Hey, man, society is getting to the point, man, where society is like, no more. Taking this no more. I don't know if you keep up with the old history and some criminal records and so forth. In the 30s, hey, man, they was handing them kids out some serious sentences back then. You know, in the 1930s, that's when the Depression was going on. You know, people was going hungry, so the kids was out there doing, you know, lawlessness. Hey, man, they wasn't playing that back then. Unfortunately, it was black children who got caught up in there, and, you know, they got sent to them juvenile facilities where they got abused and all that. But you put yourself into that. So, really or nearly, I mean, what's in the convenience store that's really that valuable that you got to break in there, bro? 24 hour, okay?
Just doing shit.
Yeah, just doing shit, right? Ain't nothing in there really of any value. Yeah, you can get cigarettes. That's about the only thing that's going to really pay you off. And maybe the liquor. But everything else, man, ain't nothing but nickel and dimes.
They in there trying to get them lottery tickets, man.
Yeah, well, they going to get them lottery tickets because guess what? The lottery tickets got serial numbers on them too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then when they hit them scratchers and they go in, because it happened here in California, some kids broke into the convenience store and stole a bunch of lotto tickets. And then, you know, they hit the scratchers, and then when they hit them, they came in to catch them in at another store. Some serial numbers. They took them kids' addresses and all that, the people's address. Cops showed that they know the next day, saying, hey, these were stolen, and we now have you, you know, we connect you with the crime. Hey, man, I mean, I'm being honest with you, bro. 2 sons, right? Ain't none of them been in trouble like that. And I wasn't the best of fathers, so I put that, you know, and I appreciate what their mothers did for them, right? As far as keeping them out of trouble. And, you know, I told my sons, like, you know, you get yourself in trouble. I'm not coming to bail you out. Didn't nobody come and bail me out.
Right.
Didn't nobody come see about me. I had to take care of my own. I had to handle my own business. You know, I'm not going to sit up there and have mama and daddy spend $5,000 to get me out of trouble over a $3 item. You know, and them kids probably didn't have the common sense as to cover their fingerprints. So if they go to the thing and start picking up fingerprints, then they connect your kids with the facial recognition thing. Because, you know, people be like, well, they not.
Yeah, they rolled out that.
This.
They rolling out that shit in certain states. I believe New York was one of them where they giving like risk scores. They monitor between your social media and like they starting with the teens, like to see how likely you are to commit a crime, and they already doing it in certain places.
Right. Now understand this: most kids get a school ID nowadays, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so your picture's already been recorded. You know, even when they have to go catch the bus, right? They get that city bus pass, they still got to get a picture.
Hell yeah. Well, yeah, Dorsey, man, we finna get up out of here for the night. I got some shit I gotta do early.
Yeah. But man, as far as with Trump, I don't agree with the man on a lot of things. I do think the man is a pervert. Allegedly is a pervert. I believe he did what he did with Epstein. But at the same time, hey, just because he did evil, the whole world ain't allowed to do evil. You know, and it's about time somebody has the balls to put the hammer down, because the Democrats ain't gonna do it. The next Republican is gonna be soft on crime. It's just getting to the point, man. I'm tired of seeing young kids killing old people, young adults, each other. You know, and then I'm not saying that it's always got to be black, but I'm talking about all children. They don't know their place no more. You know, and I mean that's all I can say, man. You know, a lot of people gonna be like, well, bro, you kind of no, man. Ain't nobody got time for that nonsense no more. We in a different time and age. The party over. Man, you have a good night, bro.
All right now, Dorsey. Appreciate you for calling in.
God bless you too.
Hey, God bless you as
I'll
well.
see you in the morning.
All right now.
All right.
Yeah, chat, man. I appreciate Dorsey for calling in, man. We finna get out of here though. I'm tired. Plus, I gotta get up early. Gotta go be a dad. You know what I'm saying? Gotta go be a dad. Good night, chat. See y'all on the next one.